Skywarp72, and while racing public hoppers this week, I've been joined by an old friend from FM4. This friend is one of the fastest and most respected racers that motorsport has ever seen.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both?
But has been absent since FM4. Very happy though to have him back racing. We joined a lobby, and this is what we run into. While this bullshit existed in FM4, it certainly was at its minimum. And I realized that these incidents happening now, while racing alongside the player who took the time to taught me how to drive without assists, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of what public hoppers had become. I was embarrassed of what my fellow competitors had become. I was embarrassed for what Forza had become. At first, when we got in the lobby, I couldn't wait to show my friend that his patience in teaching me to be a better player had eventually paid off and that I could win some races. That quickly dissipated, however, as even in another lobby, it was a different class, but the same story. And he's like, Jesus, no wonder no one we know still plays this game. And as we were getting grief by these idiots, he starts to rattle off a list of wicked fast players that we used to compete against, asking if they still played, and most of them didn't. The biggest name was Mantio Max, who not only was one of the Forza 4 elite, also would take the time to help out other players get better, and would do anything short of picking up your controller and playing for you. Mantio Max, however, isn't a player I've seen in a pub since FM4, and now, I think, is the leading voice for us clean racers on the ForzaMotorsport.net forums. I don't know Max personally, though I've always respected him. I can't help but wonder if he's so active in the forums now because Motorsport's pub changed so much for the worse. And in this conversation, I realize how many phenomenal players that we have lost. This can't be for the good of making more sales, as the Forza Elite would buy the game and all the additional content as well. Last I checked, most of your casuals didn't do that.
Coronation Starscream? This is bad comedy.
Yet another observation is that nearly the entire structure of multiplayer is made to cater to the griefers. I will say the driver feedback system is slowly working. I haven't seen griefers with a reputation of avoid me, like Walmart Shopper and Miller Lite, in any of my lobbies lately. The rest of the system, however... we could start with the griefers' weapons of choice. What is the H1 even still doing in the game? How has this POS survived the cuts of new iterations of Forza, yet we don't have the DeLorean anymore? The Pantera? Or the 96 Impala SS? The vote to kick option seems to be there for lip service only, as I've never actually seen it work in FM7, and due to the super clunky menus, you rarely have time to do so after it finally lets you pick your car for the next round. While I do not recommend it, sometimes after a half a dozen races of being rammed, you send a nasty message to your attacker, but that can only lead to you, the clean player, being banned, as I recently received a 48-hour communication ban over this shit-stained player who needs to eat a freaking Tide Pod. The other players in question here, they are White Trash Stig 1, RPG Cartman, Devon 552233, and X Ninja David XX. This week's subscriber shoutout goes out to JDM James 88. Mr. James claimed that hopping the F100 was even bigger and better with the Citroen 2CV, but I tried it and it didn't work. Hopping the F100 out of the garage was a how-to video I tossed up a couple of weeks ago. I'll leave the link to it in the description below. Even though the Citroen didn't work, I appreciate you watching, JDM James 88, who by the looks of it may be overdue for a shout out anyways, because it looks like he's been subscribed for a very long time, and I thank you, good sir. as I thank the rest of you for watching as well. Always remember, you can keep up with the Cruiser's dark humor, Forza shenanigans,
You mean shenanigans? No!
and myself on the Cruisers Gaming Facebook page, the link to which will be in the description down below. And you can always subscribe to the channel. Wait, what's that? You're not a fellow Cruiser. Well, smash that subscribe button for more Forza Fridays, my real-life racing vids, and all sorts of unpopular opinions on the Forza franchise. Thanks for the support. I'll see you next Friday, fellow Cruisers.